Debonair. Okay.
What's good, y'all? Shout out to Notification Gang for hitting the like button. And the video didn't even start yet. Y'all the villains ones in it. I appreciate you anyway. Shout out to the Grapevine, man. I wanted to do a video on this a long time ago. I just never was able to get around to it. Luckily I stumbled on it again. Thankfully, man. You know how it is, man. When you put things into the universe, sometimes it always comes back, man. People always say, if you love it, let it free. If it comes back, it was meant to be. So I saw this video. I don't even know how many years. I want to say 3-4 years ago, man. So shout out to Ashley, as y'all can see here, Ashley Acuna, who is the creator of it. But let's get into it, man. Why are Black women single? This is part 1. Part 2 is right here. You know what I mean? And I'll probably cover that in a separate video because these videos are pretty long. So we'll probably either have to chop this into multiple videos. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. When I start editing. When I start editing the videos, man, we'll see how I'm feeling. So this video is about 24 minutes long. I don't think we're gonna watch the full entire thing. We'll probably skip around, jump around, whatever the case may be, and get into it because it was a really, really good video. Shout out to Grapevine again. Shout out to her, shout out to Ashley. All those good things, man. But let's get into it, y'all. This is about to be a good one.
Hello and welcome to the Grapevine. I'm your host, Ashley Acuna. And on today's episode, we're going to be
gorgeous as hell. Lord knows.
Talking about why are Black women single. But before we get into that, let me introduce you to my amazing panel. To the left of me, I have Jacques, Abby, Bolarin, Doug, Sakina, and Stephanie. And to my right, I have Uchechi, Benga, Surin, Isan, Shola, and Donovan. Welcome to the panel, everybody.
I should remember all them names is beyond me because I don't forgot what the first damn god person is.
All right, so before we get too much into it, I want to first start to talk about the statistics that come out saying that 70% of Black women are single. Is that a myth? Do you think that's true? Who wants to start?
I think it's unbelievably high.
Okay. But do you see that in your everyday life, that that's the case?
Every time I try to holler at a girl, it must be extremely high.
I believe that's pretty true and accurate. Most Black women I have encountered seem to be very single.
Okay. From my life, it seems inaccurate.
It seems inaccurate and like disproportionately high for my experience.
Okay.
And, friendship, family, a Black woman, they're not single.
Okay, Bolarin.
You said 70%?
I think it's unmarried.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's different.
Wait. Jacques, you said this the time. What do you mean?
Unmarried, like 70%
It is
unmarried. Like,
Yeah, of course they're going to be 70%.
Anybody get married?
I mean, okay, so maybe I should have done my research.
like 30 years ago.
Maybe I should have done my research before. I'm not sure if it's single or unmarried, but we'll link it at the bottom. Go ahead, Surin. Wait, I'm sorry. One person at a time. Go ahead, Surin.
It is unmarried.
It's
and
unmarried.
The statistic is actually skewed. It's 70% of Black women between the ages of 18 to 34
are unmarried.
Imagine 18-year-olds.
Which that's what a lot of people are saying, that it's a skewed statistic because
Okay.
most people from the age of 18 to 34
Who are unmarried. But I think also, like, back in the day, like, people were getting married at 23.
Hold on. It's not that it's skewed, it's the truth. Because when you compare it from ages to other races, you're still in the majority. A lot of people will say things is skewed or it's not true or it's not this or it's not that, mainly because they don't like it. Number one, of course, like they find it offensive and all this stuff, and we'll get into it as we go along, right? But a lot of people feel a lot of women will feel some type of way because they don't like the statistics. That's the whole thing about the issue that Kevin Samuels was experiencing, talking to a woman, dealing with women, all this, that, and the third, right? And again, like I said, it's not that it's skewed. That the information is still accurate. Oh, it's skewed because it's 18 to 34, but not many 18-year-olds get married. What the hell? Well, what does it matter? Okay, so now it's 20 to 34-year-old. And it's still 70%. They'll still feel some type of way. Okay, cool. Now up at 25 to 35 to 34-year-old. Now you're gonna have 25-year-old women that's gonna be feeling upset. So they're gonna up it. Like, come on, bro. 18 is a legal age to get married. So they're saying from 18 to 34, which is typically the dating prime years of a woman, of a woman. And so that's why. That's why. So let's keep going.
Like my mom got married at 23.
Your average American nowadays gets married at 20. Your average woman gets married at 26 or 27. And your average male, I want to say, gets married at like 28 or 29.
Okay, so knowing that, do you feel like there's like a stigma as a Black woman when you're like?
That's still 18 to 34, ma'am. So what are you talking about? What are you talking? Like, do y'all see what I'm trying to say? I don't get it. You're complaining about it being skewed, but then when you're saying, oh, majority of people get married at 28 and 26 and 27, that's still 18 through 34. So the numbers would still be higher by your logic.
Like single, or just because of all these studies that come out, all these videos, all these questions
I
about.
think because the focus is more so on Black women, and we're not looking at it as a whole. Like, it's like unfairly singling out Black women. I mean, I have tons of male friends and maybe 2 that are in relationships.
Okay, so you think it's Black men too?
I think it's everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody's.
Well, I think the reason they focus on women is because, you know, a man could be 70 and, you know, have kids and get married. You know what I mean? But with women, we have a certain time frame. So it's like. You know, why are you single? Get married. You know what I mean?
I also think that at the end of the day, I believe that also exists within a sexist mind state. It assumes that all women want to have children. Right?
Okay.
You know, that like that.
Real quick, my only complaint about this channel is that they don't have multiple points of mics to pick up the sound. Because so the farther away they are from the camera, the harder it is to hear them. That's my biggest complaint for Great Minds. So hopefully they fixes it. And this is an old video. Again, like I said, this is from 6 years ago. I'm sure they learned from their mistakes and they moved on. You know.
And then all men don't want to get married.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean? Like, we don't exist in a vacuum. But
true.
At the same time,
there's variables. It's true.
Always have that in your mind.
Yeah, that's true.
I read that one.
I'm sorry, Simran. Just let Sakina go.
I was gonna say that I think that the focus of women, you know, between ages 18 to 34 is also very different. Like, you don't finish your degree until you're, you know, 20, 22. And then if you go on to grad school, now you're 24, you're 26, and then you're a working professional. So I think the focus of millennials, especially Black millennials, is very different. We're traveling, we're working in corporate environments, we're entrepreneurs, you know, so I think... Some of them are turning up. So I think the focus is different and not necessarily on getting married right now.
But what I will say is that when I like go into certain situations and I see like my white female counterparts, everybody has a ring. No matter if they're like starting at 24, and it's not necessarily the case with my Black female counterparts.
I agree.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Ashley, because yes. I don't see my white counterparts, my Asian, Hispanic counterparts making those types of excuses. Let me go up here. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. When I was finishing my bachelor's, majority of the white girls and the white boys that I knew that was sitting next to me, to left, right, in front of me, behind me, majority of them was either married or engaged or in a serious committed relationship. So I don't like when they say those type of things, and I'm happy that she, as a Black woman, came out and admitted that and said that, because it's the truth. I don't see that with my white counterparts. I don't see that with my Hispanic my Asian counterparts. By the time I got to my master's class, majority of the Caucasian, Hispanic, and Asian women were already married. And every Black girl that was in class with me was not married, never been married. So great, she made a great point. Great point.
Go ahead, Donovan.
I agree with Ashley on that. I think that what you guys are saying are true in terms of, like where the priorities are different. I think at the same time it is disproportionate, like in terms of
let's be real,
the rate in which Black women engage in long-term relationships as well as convert that over into marriage. And it has a lot to do with other things on a deeper level, right? Like, so there are a lot of statistics, a lot of research behind on a scale from white women to Asian women, African American women, Caribbean, Black, whatever you want to call it, are just not seen as attractive. There are those studies that are
which is a lie.
Which is a lie. We all know that.
That's ridiculous.
It's a
we
lie.
all know that it's not true. But even amongst African American men or Black men, there is a different statistic. Like a lot of Black women say, "I want to be with a Black man." A lot of Black men also say that, but to a certain, but it's less. It's less.
I think Black men are a lot more open. I'll date. Yeah.
Exactly. So we have to take this into consideration.
And in more ways than one.
We're also seeing this because there's some deeper stuff that's going on, right? So we can talk about the statistic, but we have to talk about some other shit.
Well, bring that forth.
Yeah, so we can talk about all of the other stuff in terms of like, what do you see in terms of like as you're being raised, how is media influenced the way we see Black women,
and what partners we choose.
Right, as much as we talk about who is doing these statistics and the age range, I think that's a little absurd as well.
Okay.
But if we don't take into consideration the other variables, which I'm sure everybody has something to say, we're gonna miss the point. So I think like there's a lot of other shit going on.
Okay, Sabine, did you want to say something?
A few things.
Okay.
So to kind of piggyback off what you said, which is what I was already going to say, once Black women hit 34 and above, the number actually rises dramatically. I think it's like 80%.
You better come with the
or
statistics.
90%.
Yes.
Well, I do. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm on YouTube and actually did a video on this. So 80%, or it might even be higher than that, 90% of Black women 34 and above are married or have been married at least once.
Okay.
Going off what you said about white women getting married at a younger age, 50 or 60% of first marriages that when you get married before 25 end in divorce. So people are getting married younger, but they have a higher chance of divorcing when you get married below 30. Like there's a much higher chance. And I know a lot of white girls that do get married they get married at 23 and they're divorced by 29, and then they're on to their second marriage.
The second marriage.
Yeah,
that's true.
And in terms of who Black men want to date and stuff like that, as of 2014, 86% of Black men that were married to Black women. So you actually
can we just clap about that? Yeah. I love it. Yeah,
this is something. And before they switch gears, this is one of the things that I don't like that Black women talk about when it comes to interracial dating. Majority of us is married. That's married. Majority of us that's married is married to a Black woman, 88, 89%. And then you have 92 or 91% of Black women that's married to a Black man. So we're not that far apart. And if you really want to break it down by numbers, there's more Black women than there is Black men. So technically, Black women is more likely to marry out than a Black man is. But whatever, I ain't gonna get into all that because y'all know how percentages work, right? Y'all know how percentages work. You have less numbers, but a higher percentage, and then you can have a lower percentage, but higher numbers. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it just depends. Y'all know, y'all know how math works. I ain't gonna go into too much details about that. But the thing that the lady with the dread, let me see if I can run this back a little bit. That her, right? This lady here, the thing that I don't really understand is like what is she trying to say? What is she trying to accomplish? Okay, cool. Your white counterparts got married at 23, but they got divorced by 29. That's not what the topic of discussion is. We're talking about why Black women are single, number one, and why other races are able to get married, number two. It doesn't matter if they were married for a year and then got divorced, they still got married. They were still married. And then it's just like she said, oh, they got married and then they got divorced and now they're working on a second marriage. So then you mean to tell me they got married twice and you can't even get married once? What are you saying? So again, let me. I'm trying not to stop it, y'all. I'm trying to like just keep going and stuff like that, but y'all know how I do.
Black men that were married to Black women. So you actually
can we just clap about that? Yeah. I love it. Yes,
this is something we're clapping about, but the statistics say that we shouldn't clap. The statistics say it's the norm.
Right.
The narrative needs to change around that.
But the thing is, I think what we're being fed is something.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's the narrative. Because let's go back to this. The statistic you gave, that 70% of Black women are unmarried, I guess below 34, is just ridiculous. Why is that a stat?
Right.
Like, there's no reason that should be a stat. Right. Are we looking at all women? Right. Like, it's just... You're not seeing it as much.
I
At least
don't
in
know
our
why we're looking
circles.
at black women under a microscope. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that
it
the media puts a certain narrative and
It
puts a
does.
certain story so that, I mean, we all know whatever information you're fed is what you believe about yourself.
It's true.
So if you carry on this energy, oh, I'm black, I'm 28, I'm not going to get married, the men are all in jail. If you carry on, you know what I'm saying? If you carry on this energy and you are telling yourself that that's the story that you and your friends have, then that's what you're going to attract. That's the crisis and that's the trauma that you're going to attract.
But Lauren, go ahead.
When you mentioned, you said that by the time white women are like 29, they're on their second marriage. Black women need to catch up. That's an advantage that they're on their second marriage.
Being on a second marriage?
Why do you because you didn't get to your first yet. They already have two.
You haven't had your second marriage yet.
I literally just said the same thing. I literally just said the same thing. What point were you trying to make by saying that? I don't get it. Oh, well, they're, most women, white women by 29, they're working on a second or third marriage. They still got married. Get my snacks. Hold on, because we gonna be here a little while. Shout out to Whoppers. had to get my snacks. Hold on, y'all.
We're just gonna ignore that part of the conversation.
Brady Bunch, they bringing it together. I mean, they got 4 kids. I even got 0. So, wait, but nah. If I could say though,
if you could be serious,
if I could be serious,
they hurt. They hurt. They so if you could be serious, the man was serious. That was a serious damn statement he just said. It sounds like y'all need to catch up. Why are they able to get married 2, 3, 4, 5 damn times? You can't even get married once.
I think, my opinion, this is all hypothetical as we're talking. I think that African American women kind of have a stencil for the men that they want, and that's kind of what impedes the development of a family. Like, oh, he gotta have a job, he gotta have a car, he has to have teeth. And no. But if I could finish my point,
let Ballard finish.
I'm exaggerating, I'm being facetious, but they do kind of hold it to a certain stencil. You know what I mean? So I feel like men.
What you're saying.
They should. Yeah, they should. I'm not saying they should settle. I'm not saying they should settle, but
wait. Time out. One person at a time. Jacques, go ahead.
I don't think they need to settle. I don't think anybody needs to settle. And I know you were being facetious, but at the same time, the things you listed are like the basic necessities to be over 25. You need to have a job. If you need to have a car, then you should have a car. If you need to have your own place, then you should have your own place. So for a woman to expect this from a man, well, duh. Because if you want to be a functioning adult, you should have.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
At the same time, and I totally understand.
Let Jack
you can make some concessions. I love him. He's great. You know what I mean? Like he can't cook. I saw him. But at the same time, like, don't expect something and not be able to bring what you need to bring to the table. That's my opinion. I don't want to let
Uchechi go.
I think that's actually a good segue into the Steve Harvey episode, because I think one of my biggest issues with that video was the fact that it completely disregarded the fact that while men have physical attributes they expect of a woman, that women aren't expected to have the same thing. So you present these women with less than attractive men and expect them to give them the time of day, when if the shoe is on the other foot, this wouldn't happen at all.
Just to give some context, the Steve Harvey video she's talking about, we'll link it below. But basically, Steve Harvey did an experiment with 2 twins who had very high expectations for or standards for what they wanted in a man, and Steve Harvey went about, kind of making the men bigger and unattractive, and just to kind of show that you shouldn't care what a man looks like, you should look inside.
And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I thought it was really like distasteful of Steve Harvey to try and he essentially embarrassed these girls. Granted, they were extreme with their.
They had character flaws.
I mean, of course, everybody. I think everybody forgets the part that we all have character flaws, regardless of who we are. I would never, I've done online dating, and my main thing, and because I don't owe anybody anything, if I go there and you're not the person I think you physically are, I will walk and leave. I have done that before because it is no. You know why? Because this is a person you presented. It can be rude for all you want, but the fact is that you lied. You lied, one, and you physically aren't what I want, so there's no point in us wasting time.
Okay.
Wait. Go ahead.
Wait. Let Becca go. Let Becca talk, and Stephanie can talk, then Abby can talk.
I'm gonna take my comment away and ask you if you met a black woman who seemed to be something online and you meet her in person. And you go, what's the result of that? How would you handle that situation?
Oh, like if she wasn't,
she wasn't what you thought she was.
I would finish my dinner. I'd be like, we're gonna split the check, because I'm not gonna pay for it. I won't just walk away though.
I'm not. They did stay. The twins stayed till the end. They didn't walk out.
Go ahead. Or it's not something that they specifically want. I believe a guy with.
Again, this is my biggest problem. You can barely hear what he's saying because he's so far away from the camera.
Still be cordial and it depends on the guy.
Well, it depends on the man.
Cordial is a strong word, but he will still be engaging to some aspect.
I think it depends on the man.
That's definitely. I'm not engaging in fabrication. I'm not engaging in some.
Yeah, when did deceit become okay? It's okay for me to deceive you about how I look.
Stephanie, go ahead.
I wanted to speak, I guess, with what Jack and Lauren were saying. Jock, I'm sorry. Not Jack. I mean, your it's a foreign name.
It's like a soft Jack.
I believe that women definitely should have some kind of standard of, what they're looking for and things like that, but they do have to be flexible and they kind of have to weigh what's important and what's not important.
It's true.
Like, for instance, I don't like men that are bigger than a 34 waist or 42 suit, but if your other qualities, outweigh that, my shallow, I guess, exterior preference, I'm going to rock with you. And I dated a guy for a year that was 36, 38 waist. His other qualities, came in, and then,
but I just think
you need a floor.
I just feel like, and we shouldn't be shamed by the way.
But I think the biggest.
Wait, guys, I'm so sorry. You have to let people talk one at a time. Stephanie, finish.
And my last point to that is that I think that I understood the Steve Harvey thing a little bit differently. I think that he kind of illustrated the point where it's kind of like women aren't choosing. And the fact that these women had this strong reaction to the men was kind of like, you got it twisted. You ain't the one who's going to leave this date, picking who. It's whether or not they're going to want you.
Yeah.
And I feel like for time in, time out, is that men are the ones that get to decide where a relationship goes.
Yeah.
Who's paying for dinner? Everything. And we're just kind of these people. But the idea is that what is the outrage when a woman says, I don't want a guy with a pop belly?
And that's the thing.
I don't want a man that's in a studio.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I feel like as a woman, like I could say something like, I want a man who's tall and I want a man who has a full set of teeth. Full set of teeth? How dare you? And it's like, and I just feel like wait, let me finish. I just feel like as a woman, right? As a human being, I have the right to be attracted to what I'm attracted to. And for some reason in this society, it's kind of like people want us to take what we can get. And I feel like that's why these women received so much flack. And I think it's
a man to get a small
I've never heard a man say to another man, she's obese, but she has a good heart. And you should give her credit. We never hear that. Wait, can I just answer your question about society? Go ahead.
That's a fact.
I'm sorry. Can we just pause? I know this is like an exciting time, but we have to let one person talk at a time and get their point across. I feel like I'm raising my voice, but go ahead.
I just wanted to answer the question. It is misogyny, patriarchy, like it's all of that. One of the biggest things is that I think when it comes for women physically choosing, physical attraction is, biological. The reason when you are attracted to somebody, the whole point is for procreation. If you are attracted to, and attraction is relative. So what I'm attracted to is not necessarily what somebody else is attracted to. The only thing is that for women, because the idea is that we are not sexual beings, there's no reason that we should care about somebody else's attraction. So our sexual appetite is not what's worried about. It's about the man, which is why when it comes to sexual attraction or when it comes to physical attraction, the concern is more towards men versus women, because as far as we're concerned, our sexual needs, our sexual appetites
don't matter.
It's not necessity.
Don't matter.
It's not the priority to ourselves.
We're gonna let Doug go.
So that goes back to the first thing I was saying about narrative, right? Obviously everybody is a sexual being, but the narrative is that y'all need to find the husbands, not us. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not finding the statistics on black men and whether they're married or not. I mean, frankly, look at this room. I don't know who else. I think I might be the only one married. You know what I'm saying? Like that's no, that's not something like the but what I'm trying to say is that like that seems to be the statistic. We're all under 34, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. But as far as the choosing part, it's all narrative. So that's what Steve Harvey played on the narrative, because if he did it for black men, he wouldn't get as much ratings.
But I also think that it's kind of a way to say, black woman, this is why you're single, because you're not looking.
It plays into his book too, and his whole persona.
I also want to say, like, when did it become okay to like run off of deceit? Because the whole experiment, the Steve Harvey experiment, was based off of deceit, that he like dressed these men up to look like something they weren't. Like, I have a lot of tattoos, for example. So if somebody says, if I'm dating online and somebody says I want a girl with no tattoos, and I say I don't have no tattoos, and then I show up and he's like, your arms and your whole body is covered in tattoos, and I should say, you should look at my interior. Like, that's deceit. When did it become okay? Right, like when did it become okay to even go to a first date and start off ideas without being honest?
Sakina, then Benga, then Balar, then Abby. Go ahead, Sakina.
I think Steve Harvey's point was he was really trying to highlight what those superficial standards are, right? So I seen the video. I was really like insulted that really by the woman, because I didn't read it as, oh, I'm a woman and I should, have the right to decide who I'm attracted to. I read it as, I'm a woman and I am going to make my decision, one based on, just by what you look like and then how much money you make. Like at the table when they were having a conversation, it wasn't really about character. It wasn't really about, who are you as a human being? Because we can shave your hair, we can do this. So my point is that, when the standards are completely superficial, easy come, easy go. You're going to find yourself in an unhappy relationship because that person might not be attractive the whole time. I'll give my life for an example. My man had a bad accident and is now in a wheelchair. If I would have met him in the wheelchair and didn't see beyond what his physical, what his physical appearance is, then how do I know the spirit? How do I know the integrity behind the person?
I totally 100% agree, but I always feel like it's the onus is on the woman to look past that. And I feel like, again, I've never heard a man say, she's not that cute in the face, but I'm gonna give her a try. His always say,
I disagree. I've done that before. I was in a relationship with a girl for well over a year, and I told her for like since the beginning of since the beginning of the relationship, I said, "Yo, you're not the type of girl that I usually go for. You're not. I didn't say it like this, but I was like in my mind, I don't find you attractive in the least bit. But I was making so many mistakes with dating different chicks. I wanted to see what she was about. She was a Christian chick, did this, that, and third, all blah, 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 whatever the case may be. And, the relationship still ended the way it ended. But in my mind, that's how I viewed her. I didn't find her attractive in the least bit. And I even told her straight up, like, you're not the type of chick that I even, you're not the type of chick that I would even talk to on that level, let alone get in a full relationship with. So no, she's wrong. She's wrong on that, Ashley. I'm sorry. You're wrong on that. You're definitely wrong on that. I've dated chicks that I did not even find attractive like that, whether it's facial wise, whether it was body wise, anything like that. I've dated big girls before. So yeah.
That happens often.
Jonathan, go ahead, then Abby will go to you. I know you've been waiting.
It was me, then Abby.
We'll go to Abby first, then you. Go ahead, Jonathan.
I just say really quick, I agree with you 100%, right? Like, so it's not mutually exclusive. It's not mutually exclusive that we live in a society that caters to men. You know what I'm saying? We can acknowledge that, but we can also acknowledge that these particular women that they chose, first of all, they look absolutely nuts.
Those things on their head.
So I'm looking at them, and you already look nuts, and then you have to ask these men about their paycheck. Like, so it's like, so if we're gonna talk about women having the right to choose, that's one particular thing.
Yeah.
But then another reason why the people looked at them like they were crazy is because they looked crazy.
Because
they
it was
sounded crazy.
produced.
And
It's produced, exactly. It's edited.
It was produced. It was edited. Wait a minute. It was produced. It was edited. But they agreed to be on television.
Yeah.
And the words that came out of their mouths are the words that came out of their mouths.
Yeah.
So we can get into what you need for dating. That's a whole other conversation. But
the attitude that you bring with it.
And they're women of a certain age. They're not rocking out in their 20s. They're a little bit older. I would assume that they're in a certain place in their career. The things that need to become important to them need to go beyond superficial things.
Yeah.
Going back to your particular point.
Okay, Abby, go ahead. I know you want to say something.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Abby, did you want to say something?
Everything's not in a vacuum.
But I do believe that those women were very superficial.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that, and I just thought about my own dating experience, it seems that when I was younger, I feel like I had to go hard to not get a date, but when I'm on a date, actually, full service dinner. My friends used to laugh at me because I actually was like growing up going on real dates, like going out to the city, like dinners picnic in the park, stuff like that.
That's nice.
Yeah. Then I got older.
Fancy.
And I'm like,
then I got older.
Yeah, I got older. I'm like, I don't need to.
It was the same for me. I was 17, 18 years old, taking chicks out to the beach, having picnics and having stuff like that. I was always that. I said it so many times, bro. I was always that one woman type of guy. Until, like he said, like he's about to say, until I got older. And then I'm like, bro, I got tired of doing all the being all the nonsense, dealing with the antics and all this, that, and the third. I said, all right, cool. If I can't beat them, join them. And I ended up joining the game. That was it.
The try as hard because at the end of the day, sometimes I remember it was few days actually. It was like I was on a job interview. They like, so like, what you doing before? What you go to school?
What was on your W-2?
Exactly. And it's like I understand that. I understand that every woman would need because I pride myself like I believe that I need a standard in life and a way to project myself in the future. And I agree that women need that. Some people don't have a standard, so that's why they end up with they accept anything. Yeah. But there's a difference between having a standard and just having a idea or mindset.
Being rigid.
This is the parameters of dating I need to stick to. And coming off as, okay, what do you do? How much you make? That doesn't define who I am.
Okay.
It doesn't define
go ahead.
what you can
be. Exactly. Lauren, then Surin, and then Uchechi. I'm sorry.
The Steve Harvey thing, the only flaw, their jobs were still held, right? Like they still said they had good jobs and all that. Their appearance was
they didn't say what their real career was. Like they didn't say that they were like millionaires,
But was it kind of given that they were kind of well off, maybe?
No, they're like regular guys. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I did. I watched the video, but I can't remember that part or whatever. No, seriously, I watched the video. But what I was gonna say was, from my experiences, at least in observations, I do believe that everyone is physical. What do you call it? Physical attraction always comes first.
Yeah.
That's let me put that right there. But I honestly do believe that men are a little more flexible when it comes to that. I've always I see more dudes with chicks that might not look as attractive as opposed to the opposite. Wait, if I may finish.
So again, y'all, that was part one. That was part one. Shout out to the Grapevine. Shout out to Ashley, gorgeous woman. And everybody else on the panel. I don't remember everybody's name. I ain't about to get into all that, but listen. And they kind of started monologuing about a lot of the topics. And part two is really when, in my opinion, part two is really when they start like answering the question as far as all those things. But listen. And matter of fact, let me say that for part two. I'm not even going to say why I think Black women are single. I'll say that for part two. Part one, there we go. Great thing. If y'all want to go forward and watch part two, I'll put links, part one and part two, in the description. Of course, y'all go ahead and watch it or whatever case may be. I'm going to get to doing part two. So this video's been going on for quite a while. and of course the video is like 24 minutes, but this video in particular has been going on for quite a while. So I'll probably do part 2 on a separate video, or maybe I'll do a live session for part 2. I don't know. I'll see how the traction looks on part 1. But yeah, man, yeah, that was yeah, great topic, man. I want y'all to comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought about this video, man. Thanks for watching. Please, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button, man. Also, 2, hit that bell symbol on side. So anytime I make an upload, notification will pop up and alert you. Also, 2, make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that share. I look forward to reading all y'all comments, if any. So until next time, please, man, y'all be safe for her, cuz.